The desire to nurture, to take care of children is among maybe the few things that we can say everyone shares. Sure, you can say it is because of our desire for our genes to survive, but that may be trivializing parenthood just a bit. It doesn't quite explain how devastated couples feel once they realize they are infertile. It is really quite heartbreaking when you actually listen to their stories when they are told by the doctor that the odds of them being able to conceive is almost zero. After they go through the grieving period, they have to look at alternative options, whether it be adoption, having a shot at treatments, or IVF. In vitro fertilization is one of the ways they can use to tackle infertility problems if simpler measures don't yield significant results. It is, however, an expensive measure, but it is becoming more accessible and, of course, cheaper for Iranians because of the technology and products that this company, Ravansaze, has managed to develop using all in-house knowledge. Hi, I'm Alireza Ekhtiyarzadeh, and you're watching Iran Tech. I already mentioned IVF as a method of fertilization when couples can't naturally conceive, but there are also two other methods of fertilization. The first one is IUI, intrauterine insemination, in which the sperm is taken out of the body and transferred into the womb so that there is where the fertilization takes place. But then we have IVF, in vitro fertilization, which I just mentioned. And the difference is that not only the sperm is taken out of the body, but also the egg is taken out of the body. So they are then put in a Petri dish, and we just wait for the sperm to find its way to the egg so that there is where the fertilization happens, and then it is transferred back into the womb. But even IVF is slowly giving way to a new, more advanced method of fertilization, which is ICSI, intracytoplasmic sperm injection. In this one, the egg and the sperm are still taken out of the body, but we don't wait for the sperm to find its way to the egg. We actually take a sperm and inject it with a microscopic needle into the egg, and that is where the fertilization happens, which is, again, transferred back into the womb. But as different or similar as these methods might sound, there is one similarity that is shared across all of them. All of them need certain tools and solutions in order to be able to do the processes, in order to keep the cells alive while we perform all these things. And this is where this company comes in. So in order to find out more, stick around to hear this interview that I had. So I'm here with the production manager of Ravansaze company, Mr. Mahmoud Hosseini. The first thing that I wanted to ask him is, what happens after the injection of the sperm into the egg?
بعد از اینکه لقاح مصنوعی در آزمایشگاه انجام میشه، اون تخمک لقاح یافته به محیط کشت جنین منتقل میشه و بین 3 تا 5 روز در اون محیط کشت نگهداری میشه در داخل دستگاه انکوباتوری که در واقع شبیه ساز رحم مادر هست و شرایط مساعد رو برای رشد جنین فراهم میکنه. بعد از اینکه در واقع به مدت 3 یا 5 روز جنین در محیط کشت و در داخل انکوباتور کشت داده میشه، بسته به شرایط بیمار یا جنین رو به بدن مادر منتقل میکنن که مراحل تکاملش رو طی کنه و یا اینکه جنین رو فریز میکنن و در داخل تانک‌های نگهداری جنین و تخمک نگهداری میشه تا در آینده مورد استفاده قرار بگیره.
So what about specifically the products themselves? What are the different categories of products that you make?
محصولات ما همونطور که خدمتتون عرض کردم در تمام مراحل درمان ناباروری کاربرد داره. از زمانی که تخمک رو از مادر میگیرن و نمونه اسپرم رو از پدر میگیرن، در فرایند پروسس و آماده سازی تخمک و اسپرم، در زمانی که اینها در واقع لقاح داده میشن و بعد از اون این تخمک لقاح یافته کشت داده میشه تا رشد کنه و به یک جنین تبدیل بشه و حتی زمانی که از جنین نمونه برداری میشه یا اصطلاحاً بیوپسی میشه برای تعیین جنسیت و یا تشخیص بیماری‌های پیش از تولد و زمانی که در واقع جنین رو به رحم مادر منتقل میکنن، محصولات ما در تمام این مراحل میتونن در واقع مورد استفاده قرار بگیرن. حتی برای زوجهایی که بنا به دلایلی مثل بیماری و یا افزایش سن میخوان که تخمک و یا جنینشون رو فریز کنن، نگهداری کنن، در آینده مورد استفاده قرار بدن، کیت فریز و ذوب جنین و تخمک ما و نی انجمادی که ما تولید میکنیم میتونه در واقع کمک کنه به این بیماران که از نعمت داشتن فرزند محروم نشن.
So as far as I know, we used to import everything, the machines and everything else necessary to do these processes before you managed to get to this technology using in-house knowledge. So what was the situation before?
قبل از اینکه در واقع این محصولات رو در داخل کشور بومی سازی بکنیم، تولیدشون رو و این محصولات رو در داخل کشور خودمون تولید بکنیم، تمام این محصولات از کشورهای خارجی وارد کشور ما می شدن. و خب میدونید در شرایطی که ما با تحریم‌های بسیار سختی روبرو هستیم، هم واردات این محصولات بسیار مشکل هست و موجب در واقع ارزبری زیادی از کشور میشه. ما با در واقع تلاش دانشمندان جوانمون تونستیم که دانش تولید این محصولات رو در کشور بومی سازی بکنیم و از این بابت کشور رو از واردات این محصولات بی‌نیاز بکنیم.
And how much more cost effective is your technology and your machines compared to the foreign counterparts that we used to import?
تولید این محصولات خب قطعاً از لحاظ مالی هم برای بیماران و هم برای مراکز درمان ناباروری و بیمارستان‌های ما بسیار در واقع حائز اهمیت هست، چون هزینه‌های درمان رو میتونه کاهش بده و در واقع کاهش داده این هزینه‌های درمان رو. و اینکه خب ما در آینده هم میتونیم نگاه صادراتی به این محصولات مخصوصا در کشورهای منطقه داشته باشیم، چون کشورهای بسیار محدودی این محصولات رو در دنیا تولید میکنن و در آسیا غیر از ژاپن ما کشور دیگه‌ای رو نداریم که این محصولات رو تولید بکنیم و خدا رو شکر ایران به عنوان دومین کشور آسیایی هست که به این تکنولوژی دست پیدا کرده.
Right. Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Hosseini. I think I want to go and check the products for myself and see them up close. So let's do that now. So this is it. In these vials, those needles and those test kits are what this company makes and what they're trying to do to make fertilization more accessible and even cheaper. So over here, we have the culture media and there's so many vials. Mr. Hosseini, could you explain a little bit about these different vials?
ولی همونطور که فرمودین این محصولات محیط‌های کشت جنین هستند که هر کدوم به طور مشخص برای یکی از مراحل کشت جنین مورد استفاده قرار میگیره. به عنوان مثال همین ویالی که الان دست شما هست این محیط فریز اسپرم هست. زمانی که نیاز هست بنا به هر دلیلی اسپرم بیمار رو فریز کنیم و برای استفاده در آینده مورد استفاده قرار بدیم از این محصول استفاده می‌کنیم.
What about this oil?
این روغن تقریبا توی تمام مراحل کشت جنین استفاده میشه. به عنوان یک لایه روی محیط کشت رو میپوشونه که از تغییر pH و فشار اسموزی محیط کشت در واقع جلوگیری می‌کنه.
Right. And what do we have over here? We have these needles, micro injection needles here. So how are they different?
اینها نیدل های میکرو اینجکشن هستن. این نیدلی که الان دست شما هست این نیدل هولدینگ هست برای نگه داشتن تخمک در طی در واقع عمل میکرو اینجکشن. نیدل قرمز رنگ نیدل در واقع اینجکشن ما هست و این نیدل بلاستومر بایوپسی هست که برای نمونه برداری از جنین مورد استفاده قرار میگیره به منظور تعیین جنسیت یا تشخیص بیماری‌های پیش از تولد.
Okay, and over here are the vitrification kits meant to cryopreserve the sperm and the egg. Am I right?
بله کاملا درسته. اینها محصولات انجماد تخمک و جنین هستن، کیت ویتریفیکیشن، کیت تاوین که بعد از باز شدن و ذوب در واقع جنین و تخمک مورد استفاده قرار میگیره و نی انجماد تخمک و جنین که نمونه ها روی این قرار میگیره و داخل تانک ازوت نگهداری میشه.
Okay, and finally we have these sperm test kits. So what can you tell me about these?
ما دو تا محصول هم در زمینه در واقع سنجش و ارزیابی کیفیت اسپرم ها داریم. یکی کیت سنجش بلوغ کروماتین اسپرم هست و دیگری کیت در واقع اندازه‌گیری میزان فرگمنتیشن دی ان ای اسپرم.
Right. Thank you very much, Mr. Hosseini. There is one last thing that we need to take a look at, which is the CO2 incubator. So let's check that out. So this is the CO2 incubator. It is a machine that is used for cell culture when we need to replicate the conditions in the human body and specifically the mother's womb for the purposes of what this company is doing. Because, of course, eggs and embryos are inside the womb, so if we are to take them out and keep them for insemination or other processes, we need to mimic the conditions of the womb, where there is a level of CO2. So this is the clean room, and if I wanted to check the vials and the needles being made for myself, I had to come here and dress for the occasion. So there's a whole process here, so bear with me. One and the other. All right, let's check out this first room. Let's head inside. All right, so in this room over here, they make the micro-injection needles that you just saw upstairs. And over here in these two stations, they make the embryo freezing straws. So it's a pretty sophisticated process, and it has to be done in a sterilized environment, as you can see here. I mean, it is pretty safe to say that this room is very clean. But let's check out the second room. Let's put in here and see what's going on here. So this is where the vials are being filled, the solutions that are meant to keep the cells alive, to do all the processes that we talked about on them, because they need to be kept alive in a controlled environment. And this is where they fill in the vials that give them that controlled environment. So they fill in the vials, and once it's ready to be sent off, once they put in the cap on them, they put it next to some dry ice, because before the final packaging is packaged, it still needs to be relatively cool. So once it's ready to be sent off, they put it through here, and the people on the other side, they take it and they make it ready for the final packaging. There are a few reasons why the technology and products that I showed you today are especially important to Iranians. Number one, Iran actually has a higher than average rate of infertility at around 20%, which is more than the 10 to 15% of the global average. And this is one of the things that we really don't want to be above average at. Number two, Iran, like many other countries, is dealing with an aging population. Number three, the sanctions. Because we have a lot of sanctions on us, importing a lot of the product and machines that was necessary to do the IVF, IUI, and the ICSI procedures that we talked about, it makes them a lot more expensive and a lot more difficult to actually find those machines and be able to import them. But with the in-house knowledge that we have actually managed to develop in this company, we no longer need to import them, saving a lot of money both for the country and also for the end consumer. So I can't say enough good things about the results that this technology is going to bring to the people of Iran. And on that high note, I'm going to end the show right here. Until the next episode of Iran Tech, until next week, I'll see you all next time.